Hey guys, it's Lazy and I'm back with a one-button totem setups. Yes, this is one button. You see I have 3 skills, but you can fully play this as a one-button setup. You don't even have to press your flask, and this is achievable with the newest tech from Gemling Legionnaire. As I was recording the video, the latest patch by GGG this morning, 0.5.2, kind of stealth nerf the cluster bomb setup so that it no longer grants reduced detonation time. It is instead now give damage again as extra fire. So yeah, unlucky me, I have to go back and do a few recording on the newest patch and tweak the build a little bit, but it should be relatively the same on the power scale. I've kind of tested this out already, so don't worry about it. Our setup is actually on the lower budget end, so we don't have to push for high quality because it can be quite expensive on the Gemling Legionnaire. But yeah, if you are looking for a lower budget kind of setup, one button totem playstyle, and it's actually not a lick starter budget setup, but it's still quite cheap in my opinions to get this going. Around 15 div that I put into the build. You can totally achieve this on low budgets. There's a few tricks for you to give more damage than you can actually do. I'll show my gear after, but yeah, my gear is around 15 div at this point. And you can do some like insane stuff. And this is on the latest patch as well. To save you guys the time, I'm just gonna tell you what to do to fix this after the patch. Now, it used to say reduce detonation time here, but now it no longer has that line, so my detonation time is around 1 second, which means that the little grenade cannot really overlap with the big grenade. So what I do is I take reduce projectile speed. There's one here. There's only 3 on the tree, by the way, so depending on where you are, there's another one here, and there's one here. Just need to take these, and then it should be solved. But let me just quickly show you what it is if you don't take these. So, for example, if I were to drop the grenade here, you can see it's gonna spread out a lot. The little one and the big one. So let me just show you again. It's gonna be like a huge AoE gap, right? So you see it's spread out a lot. And you will see that it can actually shotguns when we take reduced projectile speed. Right, so that's a huge AoE area. Now if I were to take both of these nodes, you're gonna see that it's gonna be a lot smaller. And that's how we're gonna shotguns the grenades after the patch. If they somehow revert it, you will save yourself some points. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's talk about how this build is played. It is exactly like a one-button totem build. It is what you expected from a totem build. You run around, put down totems. Totems do all the work, and it is extremely comfy to play. You can use totem for AoE clear. You use the same totem for single target damage. It is strong in both. It clears boss in seconds, and it is really fun to play. I actually tweaked the build a lot compared to any of the other setup. And as per usual, I will also have a written guide that will be linked in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out if you want to see the latest setup that I'm currently running. I'm always testing out, experimenting on this build, so if I see any setup that is good, I will probably update it in the written guide. I built this character for maximum confidence, so we have a decent amount of like effective HP, but we have like really high recovery using the newest Reverie that's come this patch, and then we don't even have to care about our mana, so it's literally just going around dropping totems and you don't have to press your flask. So I know the hype this patch was around spell totems because in this patch they changed Ancestral Bond, removing the limitations of using charges when you have to press down spell totems, but we didn't really have that kind of limitation on Ballista Totems. So yeah, we're just using the Ballista Totem setups on Gemling Legionnaire with the out quality. You getting an extra totems on the ascendancy, and also there was an out quality for cluster grenade, which was broken because it's reduced detonation time. But as I kind of showcase, you don't really need that. So yeah, this build at this stage would actually work for next patch as well, which is kind of nice. Going for Ballista Totems, you are playing this as a martial build, So it allows you to scale your damage based on kind of like your weapon damage, right? Whereas in a traditional spell totem build, you have to scale spell level, which is arguably pretty expensive, and it is kind of meta this patch, so I want to kind of avoid that. To kind of put into perspective, by playing this on a Gemling Legionnaire, you get an extra totems, and at a mid to low budget investment, you also get access to at least 4 to 5 totems, which is like equal to the spell totem boys at like mid to high investment. Alright, so let me just quickly talk about the totem limits. As you can see, I have a total limits of 5 totems, and in the skill itself, it's actually say I have a totem limits of 4. So I think there might be a bug here that allow me to place 1 more than total. And it is not the Gemling Legionnaire out quality. I've kind of tested it out. If I unspec that, I'm still able to like place 1 more than normal. So you can see it goes to 3, and I'm still able to press put down 4. So out quality give us 1 more. So that's great. We get 1 more from the Ballista tree here, +1 to maximum number of summoned Ballista Totems. And then you get 1 from the weapons. You can actually get 2, but it is a cheap weapon that I just buy to showcase the build that works. You can totally buy a much more expensive weapons, and you can also self-crafted it as well. Runebiter Alloy, which is a new mechanics, allow you to guarantee a +2 maximum number of summoned Ballista Totem on your weapon. So at the minimum, you should be running around with 6 totems in general. And if you can push the owl quality to higher, I guess around, I'm not sure like what's the break point for the next limits yet. So we'll have to test it out. I do want to spend some time talking about how you set up gems on this character because it's quite important. Mainly is because we are Gemling Legionnaire, so most of the skills over here we don't actually use. And there's a purpose for each of these skills and gem support gems that we are using. Let me just go over the main idea here, right? So there's only 1 rule that you kind of have to follow that is beside the skills that you actually use. So in here, I actually only use these 4 skills in my build. We have Rite of Restoration, which we rarely put down. You can put down if you want to. It makes your character a bit tankier. There is Mortar Cannons that we are using with cluster grenades, and then the rest are support gems. Let me go into the details of the support gems after this, but Eternal Rage, Berserk, and you can kind of see these are the only skill that we use, and we are only putting down Mortal Cannon pretty much. Now, the rest of the skills are here to serve the purpose of getting enough support gems so that we hit the requirements for gem enthusiasts, which give us maximum life and move speed, which is really good. Also, the number of support gem has to be balanced, so I have exactly 10 of each color. It has to be balanced for gem studded, so we gain benefits of all of these. We would have enough red, blue, and green. We get all these 3 bonus, so it's really good. And then after that, right, after you have all these support gems and color correct, you have to also think about Virtuous Barrier as well. Because this skills, I guess some people misread it, but essentially it gives you moats. And moats are this thing right here. But it doesn't give it per attributes, but it gives it per skill. So in most of your skills, you do want to have strength skills. But the only 3 strength skill that we can use in our setup, it doesn't work for spirit skill. So it has to be skill that you put in here, you sock it in, and you have, you don't need to have it in the bar, but you have to have it in here. So for each of these skills that require, for example, strength, I would get 2 of these strength modes, right? So this is why I'm using, well, Shockwave Totem, Infernal Cry, Seismic Cry to gain as much strength modes as possible. And then we also, have some of the other skills that give strength index, and then I have some ints as well because I can use more blue support gems. And anyway, I balance it out around, you know, having 6 intelligence modes, 6 dexterity, and 15 strength modes. And yeah, that's the basic idea. You need to have enough support color. You need to have as much strength skill gem as you can, and then you balance it out to have these kind of modes. So you need to fill out all your skill gems. Now, onto the actual usage of mortal cannons, right? So we are using cluster grenades, we are using absolute bloodletting. This is so that we don't have to think about mana, because if we don't have it, we spend a lot of mana on putting down the totems, and this will require you to be constantly putting down totem because of how it functions, right? Mortal cannons, when you put this into the, when you have like cluster grenade in here, it has increased cooldown recovery rate. So you put down totems, it's gonna shoot out 2 grenades, and it's gonna wait to shoot out more, right? We don't want that, we just replace the totems with another one, and it's gonna continue it, shooting down new grenades. And then we are using urgent totems. All totem builds should kind of use it. Totem placement speed is really good. It allows us to put down totem really fast, so we can keep running and putting down totem like that. And because we have really high recovery from Reverie, it's essentially free for us. And then payload is an extremely good support gems, which reduce recovery rates. We talk about it, we don't care about it, and it can shotguns the grenades it can activate another time. And then I'm using multi-shot. The last mod you can use Nova projectiles. Multi-shot 2 helps a little bit with the boss damage. Nova Proj can actually be pretty good in the current setup because we are taking reduced projectile speed. And then you can also take cooldown recovery 3 as well, which add more charges to the cluster grenade in the mortal cannon. But I highly recommend just to use multi-shot or Nova projectiles. And then yeah, Eternal Rage give us rage. It is also strength, so it give us like strength mode for more maximum life, and then Berserk increase the rage effects. And I'm using Herbalism 2 to increase the recovery from Life Flask, which helps with recovery from Reverie, right? Because yeah, and then you can see here if I take there's like a trick that you can do. So you see here I have 28 spirits, which I can't put Herbalism 2, and the trick is using the reservation efficiency alt quality. So if I put Herbalism 1 in here, it doesn't actually use up all of my spirits. So you can see it use only 13, right? And then I can replace it with Herbalism 2, and then I would have enough spirit to use Herbalism 2 because it benefits from the alt quality. I guess it doesn't take it into account when they first calculate the spirit reservations, but that is kind of like how we gonna set this up. So have all your main skills, support gems salvated in, and then you have a list of all these skills to choose and the support gem color that you can choose to get to the amount that is required by gem enthusiasts, right? So it's 10. And yeah, so 10 is the magical number here. There's also a bug with Eternal Rage right now that if you kind of mess around with weapon settings in a little bit, like it like permanently brick the skill right now, right? Self-poison, I can't really activate it right now because I was like messing with Herbalism 1 and 2 and stuff. It's not really a good way to fix this right now, but one of the fix is for you to craft a new one. So I just need to go in here, craft a new Eternal Rage, quality it up, put it in here, and it should work again. And yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but you can try it out for yourself. So if you run into this bug, you just try it out and it's still working as intended. Alright, so you probably are wondering, how do I set up my passive skill tree to look like this? Let me introduce you to the new tech of the Split Personality, and it works on any starting point as long as you have to follow 2 of these rules. you need to have your starting area, in my case Mercenary, connect to the Templar area, which are what it say on the rules here. So that's the first rule. And the second rule is you need to have a connection to a jewel socket. So I already have a connection here, but I'll just quickly show you what it looked like. Taking all of these points here. Right, so we have a connection between my starting point and the Templar area and the jewel sockets. That means I can now, for example, if I want to, I can take this jewel off. Yeah, so as long as you satisfy 2 of the rule, you can have this jewel socket in here, and you can start refunding the point from your starting point. So it is how I get started on the passive skill tree. It saved me a lot of points, and the reason why I use split personality for Templar area is because we have some pretty good notes over here, and I'm running Reverie setups, and you can run Undying Hate on here, which is one of the best sockets on here to use a keystone, right? Because we don't use any other points in here, and then there's also good notes that have good stuff for totems over here. But yeah, the starting area of Mercenary actually doesn't do a whole lot for us instead of like giving damage. So we don't really need the damage. That's why I opted for starting over in the Templar area. This shoe is also one of the cheaper one on the market right now. So yeah, there's that. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit on our gearing and mainly focus on our defensive. As you can see here, I am running Reverie and Chevron's Satchel. 2 of these are insane for our build. The rest of the gear is like quite bad actually. I haven't really upgraded my gear, and you can kind of see we take this setup into the end game dying only 4 times. Right, so 4 times, I'm level 90. And we can push the defensive to be a lot higher, right? Like getting over cap res, getting much higher ES, because yeah, this is not even that good, right? But this is kind of like my gear. And the setup we are running is Reverie's Chevron's Satchel, and like you see here, we have life recovery. It's basically, this is a new body armor that it's constantly constantly applying the life last effect. So we get tons of life recovery per second from flask, and then it also applies to our ES, which means that we are constantly recovering, and we just get like a really good I guess life last. You can get higher number, I think, but increase amount recover, that would helps to push the number a little bit higher, and I'm probably gonna upgrade it to higher tier. This is a tier 8. Alright, cut. I just want to show you the life last that I just bought, since I guess it will make more sense. But this is one of the best roll you can get on life flask for recovery. I put that in, and you will see the recovery go up by like 200. In the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't change too much, so don't wreck your bank on this. But if you wanna go and get a good flask, this is the best one to go with for the Reverie build. And also there's another tech to use Undying Hate, because we have so much recovery. This one prevents 20% life loss prevented from hits, and then it recover it's lost over 4 seconds, but because we have so much life recovery, it's more like a positive thing for us. So just these things, and I take a little bit of increased armor, and no, on the offensive side of thing, there's not really much going on, right? You have your mortal cannon setup with quality, and then with 5 sockets, that's pretty much it, and you stack as much flat damage on your gear as possible. That's how it works with all of the martial build. And then for the crossbow, I kind of bought it for like 4 or 5 div. It's nothing too special. You probably can get a better one crafting it yourself with Runebiter Alloy, because it's gonna give you guaranteed +2 maximum number of summon Ballista Totem, which is kind of insane because in a totem build, right, the more totem you have, the more single target damage you are going to get. So eventually I'll just craft a better one. But yeah, this is what I'm using for now. And other thing would be some unique jewels, which beside the split personality I'm using, from nothing diamonds, so I can put point into totem placement speed here. And then I have a Prism of Belief. You get a +2 here, it's fine, because it's kind of made out of this lake, so it's quite expensive. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Stack as much flat damage. Fizz is probably the best, and then some lightning for shock. Later on, if you want to go for like insane amount of damage, right, we will get a level to projectile skill here. You probably want to swap over to an amulet with Eternal Rage, so you get Eternal Rage for free, and then you can run the cast on dodge stuff, which is really nice for endgame, but that's probably going to be my goal. Alright, so this video is already going on for long enough. I'm just gonna do a quick map showcase to see how this build is played. And yeah, it is currently 1-button setup, and it do enough damage for the content that I'm currently farming. Okay, so it's Flotsam, so I'm probably gonna cut to the boss soon, but yeah, I wanna show you how to actually play and how this build actually functions. Defensively, right, you can take damage during maps. It's, if it's not a one-shot, you fully recover pretty fast. And even in the less recovery map, you can spam your totems, and you have to play a little bit more careful. But other than that, it's a very comfy setup that allows you to just go through map, putting down your totems, and you don't have to worry about anything. Actually, it's gonna be pretty good for controller. But other than that, right, like you have enough damage, so if you want to go for like endgame setup, I would say try to get a bit more damage and then go for utility, like, you know, cast on dodge. Or you can go for tankiness setups, which I'm not really... I'm still thinking on what's the best approach for Reverie setup. Definitely it's not gonna be like armor, because I don't think we get enough armor, like, or quite enough armor in the setups, but maybe we can. I'm feeling like ES evasion could be it, but it's really hard to go from the starting point of Druid and go for ES evasion. So yeah, we'll have to think about it. But let me just quickly show you the boss, because otherwise this map is gonna take too long, but you get the idea, right? We don't have to have any sort of setup, just go through map, putting down totem, and that's pretty much it. And this is where we gonna end the video as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.